Welcome to Football Discussion Daily. I am Joe. I am here with my co-host. He is
TGO.
CGO or
Yeah.
George. Today is the 21st of January, 2026. It is Champions League match day 7.2. Today there were some surprising results. Chelsea squeaked by a Cypriot club. I believe Dortmund lost to Karabag. But today we will be talking about Liverpool 3, Marseille 0. Liverpool went to France. And they beat Marseille 3-0. They hadn't played in Marseille in particular since 2009. And they scored on a free kick by Dominic Szoboszlai. Frimpong scored a great team goal. Cody Gakpo scored a late goal to seal it. It was a pretty open game. There's some really interesting post-game comments by players and coaches. A lot of familiarity with a lot of players. And quite the interesting game. I think at the end of the day, the table has 5 English teams in the top 8 and 6 in the top 11. And so there's just a very successful match day for England and very successful group stage for England. George, what are your thoughts?
Yes, I think maybe before I make comment on that, I would like to correct the what you said about Dortmund. I think Quarterback defeated the Eintracht Frankfurt,
Oh,
and
sorry.
it
Yes,
was
my bad.
yeah. So it was a late minute goal from Quarterback, the team from Azerbaijan, to get victory against Eintracht Frankfurt. So nobody expected that. That's what happens in the Champions League.
Yes.
So I think Liverpool they did so well today, and I think this victory all extends the time and its slots will be staying at Liverpool because the more you get good results, then you are buying more time. So I think with these good results, I feel Arne Slot is buying more time. I'm hoping that the team can also improve in the Premier League as well. They've not been too bad in the Champions League, but the Premier League, they've not really get up to the expectation a lot of people have where they are. Today, they played so well. The game was an open game, like you said. Marcel were very open. It was a very enjoyable game, but Liverpool were more clinical. They took the opportunities and they were able to get a goal. And then we must commend the brilliance free kick by Soboslai to put Liverpool in the lead because that lead is very, very important because it gives the team more motivation considering the situation they are at the moment. So it was a very good morale boosting goal that is scored there. And then an own goal from Marcel increased the lead for Liverpool. And then Gakpo rounded it up with a brilliant finish, making it 3-0 for Liverpool. From the look of things, I feel all the English teams will definitely make it to the next round of the competition. But the only concern is Chelsea has to win their last game against Napoli if they want to make it to the round of 16. If not, they will have to play the playoff. Same thing also applies to Manchester City. Even if Manchester City wins, then they will be hoping that those who are above them, because currently they are on the 11th position, so
Yeah.
they will be hoping that other teams above them can lose their game so that they can jump over them. If not,
George, can I comment on I've watched some of these post-game match interviews with a lot of these coaches, and they're asked pretty commonly how important it is to be in the top 8 versus the top, the next 16. So the top 8 go directly to the round of 16. Number placed 9 through 24 get placed in another playoff. The winners of those get into the round of 16. So there's a round of 32 and a round of 16, a round of 24, and then a round of 16.
yes,
And so all these coaches are asked, and every single one of them is like, it doesn't really matter. Like it's 2 extra games. This doesn't impact our players' injury risk. It's not like it's another whole other competition. I don't know if they're just saying that publicly to put less pressure on their team, but that's what they're saying publicly. I kind of see their point. Like last year, PSG. We were just talking before this we started recording that PSG went to the round of 16, and then they went to the round of 24, then went to the round of 16, and they ended up winning the competition pretty handily in the final. And I kind of agree with these coaches. They don't see it. Another thing I saw in the post-match interview today was Dominic Soboslai was asked about his free kick, and I thought this is a fantastic answer. He basically said, "We were watching film on Marseille, and they don't put somebody under their wall quite commonly in League One." And I don't watch League One football. Sometimes I'll see these teams in the Champions League. I went to a League One match in person one time, but I wouldn't have known this. And he said, the coaches said, if they don't do that in our game and you get a free kick in the right spot, put it under the wall. And Dominic Szoboszlai did it. And next time you see a guy lying under the wall and you think he looks stupid, think of this free kick, because I thought that's why they do it. Coaches and set piece coaches are really smart with that, and that
Yeah.
was a really interesting answer.
Yeah, I think that's a very interesting answer, and it shows that they they were paying attention to details when it comes to what happens in the French Ligue 1. So things like this are very important. That's where uh, football becomes very interesting. Football is becoming more scientific now. That's why you have set pieces coaches who take their time to study so much about teams' weakness and then try to use that to their own advantage. So I think that has really paid well for Liverpool in this game. So regarding what coaches are saying about it doesn't really matter if you have to play the playoffs before moving to the next phase. I feel they're just saying it not to put pressure on the player because playing through extra games is not something easy. I don't think any team would like that. If they can avoid it, they would like to avoid it. But in a situation where you are left with no option, then you just have to play the playoffs. So I feel that's why they're just saying it. But in reality, if you ask them what they really want, they will prefer not to play the playoffs. They would like to go straight to the round of 16 instead of playing through extra games, especially with the way the football season is. Players are even complaining about playing too much games now. So it's not something easy. So we just have to make it clear that playing two extra games is a lot for the players. But coaches would not like to really admit that because they don't want to dampen the spirit of the players. They just want to encourage them.
Interesting. I think the true answer varies by club. There's certain teams where they really get in a rhythm of twice a week and have a large squad and are able to handle that. And especially, I think the teams in England, I think, are teams that would probably prefer to avoid the two extra games, because I don't think the
Yes.
quality of Premier League is necessarily better than other. This year it is, but in general, I don't think Premier League quality is overblown. I think German and Spain are in France are a lot closer than Premier League fans would like to say. But Premier League is physically harder and always
Very,
has
very
been, just
hard.
the style of
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
And you're bodied off the ball a little bit more. It's easier to get. I do feel like the injuries are a little easier to get, and you get a little more tired in a Premier League game than a Spanish game is more control oriented. And it does depend on where these coaches are. I mean, certain teams are trying to get their team in a rhythm. I do feel like Slot in particular has a lot of talent on his team, but he has not been able to get in a rhythm. I disagree with you, George. I don't think that this bought him more time. I think the Liverpool owners tend to be very patient and make their decision at the exact right time to sack the coach, and only if a perfect backup is available. In their time in PS and owning Liverpool, they've sacked only, I think, two coaches, three coaches. I think they came in as Hodgson, sacked him for Rodgers, and then brought in, no, they did bring sack him for Dalglish and brought in Rodgers. But it's been a very long time since they sacked a coach, and I think that they would wait until the summer, if
We
anything.
also had the Benitez, Rafael Benitez
That was
coaching
before
Liverpool.
PSG. That was before the Fenway's the current ownership. The current ownership has been very patient, and
Yes, yes, yes.
Slot too. He's in fourth place. It is not a crisis. Yes, if they spent a lot of money this summer, they also lost their only two speedsters up top, and that's clearly impacting play. They also have shoehorned Ryan Gravenberch, who is not a defensive midfielder, into that defensive midfielder spot for a year and a half. It worked. I think teams have figured him out. People haven't been able to adjust. They've had McAllister and Konate, who were excellent last season, be terrible. I don't think that's on Slot this season. Both McAllister's actually good today. Konate didn't play, but both of those players have been terrible all year. Zaboslai is the only one who's had a good season. Wirtz was bad and is good now. Him and Ekitike
Yes.
have actually linked up very well today. That third Frimpong goal, I don't know if it was a Frimpong goal or an own goal, but Wirtz and Ekitike worked the middle of the field, drew in a bunch of defenders. They sprayed it out to Frimpong, who was one-on-one in the box with the defender, which never happens. Creates a little space, and I believe it deflected off to the defender. I don't know if it was an own goal or a Frimpong goal.
I think they recorded it as an own goal. That was what was
But that
reported.
goal was created by Ekitike and Wirtz in the
Yes,
middle,
yes, yes,
who
yes.
will be an exceptional partnership for Liverpool for a long time.
Yes. And I think, like you rightly said, I think the Liverpool board are very, very patient, which is very good because I think Arne Slot really deserve all the patience because a man who came to a club, nobody gave him a chance, and they won the league last season. And they were not too bad last season when it comes to other competitions. They got to the final of the Carabao Cup and then lost to Newcastle in the final. They were knocked out by a very good PSG side in the round of 16 of the Champions League. I think Liverpool were not too bad last season in other competitions, apart from winning the league. So I think for me, Arne Slot deserve more time, deserve all the patience, considering what he has achieved at the club, just within that short time he came to the club. Like you rightly said, I think he deserve the time.
Yeah. I mean, even if Xabi Alonso is ready right now, I still think the board would say, let's wait until the summer.
Yes.
Slot, I feel like, is the best man to lead this team to back to the Champions League qualification, which is, the title is a plus. The Champions League qualification is the bare minimum for a club of Liverpool stature. And I do feel like it was always going to be difficult to get all these new signings to gel. It's a very difficult position, and Liverpool bought all these players to succeed over a 5 and 7 year time frame, not a 7 month time frame that we've seen so far. So I do believe Slot can turn it around and will, and they'll have momentum at the end of the year, and I think he'll be very successful at Liverpool. But stranger things have happened in football. One other thing I saw, George, I don't know what you think about this. I think several players I saw in post-match interviews and Slot said that Robert De Zerbi played a very open game. They're not used to seeing in the Premier League, and that's one of the reasons they were able to have such an offensive output. And they were saying in the Premier League they often see a low block, and none of them were dismissive. They've been struggling to break that down this season in the Premier League, and it's one of the results of the failure. And all the players in Slot took responsibility on that, but it is easier to score and create chances when the other team is trying to press high, trying to win the ball a few higher, not worrying about giving your midfielders a little bit of space. They all commented on how it was a little bit easier today. Do you think that maybe other teams underestimate what English teams are capable of? So we've seen that same with Arsenal too, where Inter tried that yesterday and got beat pretty bad.
Ah, no, the issue is everybody know Roberto De Zerbi. When he was at Brighton, we all know he normally comes out to play. He's not somebody who plays defensive style of football. He's a manager that likes to come out and play, wants the players to express themselves. So I guess that really worked in the favor of Liverpool because most teams in the Premier League, especially the low side or the middle table teams, most times when they play against top teams, they always play the low block, and that's why it's difficult most times to break them. You need players who are very, very good, who can use pocket of spaces, create stuff to penetrate and create things. That's why you see Liverpool struggle a lot when they play against low block side. But playing against a Marcel team that is ready to express themselves open, it was easier for them to get the goals. And that also worked in the favor of Arsenal yesterday when they played against Inter Milan. Inter Milan came out, considering that they were playing at home, they came out to play. And unfortunately, they couldn't stand the firepower of the Arsenal team. So I think that has really worked in the favor of the English team yesterday and today. Apart from Chelsea playing Parfors today, you notice that Parfors came out with a low block and Chelsea struggled to break them down. Even though their goalkeeper made a lot of beautiful saves, the Dutch goalkeeper, which they had, made a lot of beautiful saves, but you will see that it wasn't easy for Chelsea to get the goal. They've just managed to get one goal through Moise Caicedo towards the ending of the game. So
I'll say
that's what happens. Yeah.
one smaller team in England that doesn't really do a low block, at least this season, against the bigger teams is, Brentford. Just saying. We came out and we beat Liverpool. At home though, away though, we have put a low block because we've needed to.
Yeah.
There's a reason teams do it because they don't want Liverpool to score three on them like they did today. So I do think that it's a little bit naive from De Zerbi today. I do feel like there's times where he was naive in Premier League as well, but he's knows more about soccer than I do and is a very smart gentleman. Let me close out today, George, with some questions for the viewers. Please respond on social media platform you follow us on. There are 6 teams in the top 11 in the Champions League spaces right now. There are 5 in the top 8. Is this a trend, or is this a coincidence? Is this just one season, just English speaking, or do you think this is going to be a long-term trend? Let us know your thoughts below. Um, what do you think the best goal was today? What do you think the most surprising result was today? I think most people be in agreement on that second one. What do you think about Liverpool's struggles? Do you feel like they're on the up? Do you feel like this is more of a peak in the midst of several valleys, just today's performance, because they did do great today? And how much do you care about the new Champions League format? Do you think that do you think that do you care if your team, skips the round of 24 and goes right to the round of 16? Let us know your thoughts. Appreciate you listening. Have a good night.